Salve, vorrei presentare la mia lezione sulla storia della lingua inglese. La lezione è stata preparata per una classe terza di un liceo ed è stata realizzata con Prezi. Manca della parte di competenza degli studenti, ossia i compiti da svolgere, che verranno forniti loro su file a parte. Well, what is English? Now it is the world language, the most used by all people in the world. But where does it originate? The history of the English language really started with the arrival of the three Germanic tribes: the Angles, the Saxons, and the Jutes. The inhabitants of Britain spoke a Celtic or Celtic language. The Angles came from England, and their language was called English, from which the words England and English are derived. These tribes crossed the North Sea from what today is Denmark and northern Germany. The invading Germanic tribes spoke similar languages, which in Britain developed into what we now call Old English. Old English did not sound or look like English today. Native English speakers now would have a great difficulty understanding Old English. And Beowulf is a poem written in Old English. Now, let's watch and listen to the prologue in Old English.
Quet we gardina in jardagom, theud kuninga thrunge frunen, hos der etherlinga sellen fremedal. Of shield shaving, jedra thretum, monigum make the majors have after. A so the eras, Susan erst where felshift funden. Heitas flofery bad, waves no wolk num erth minum tha. As that him wirstara unsittendra of a grunrade huran shoulder gone by Yolan, that was good cunning. Than ever west saft again the dong and yardan than the god send, hope to frofra, pure and thafer on ya patty adrugan, allolas et langa will. Him thus leaf Wolders well and wool out of Foria, Beowulf West Bramer, that weed is sprung, shield is Evra, Shillandum in. Swasja jong guma, go to go wirchan, from Beowulf giftum and verre berne, that hina on ulde efke wonigen, wilge seedes, van de week guma loudige lasten, loft uit shell en meistige huere, mange thea. Inka shoot go out to guest of wheeler, Villach raw fairan and fredan wear. He huneth that Athran to Bremer's father, swears casidas. Swahe self a bad, then world of world, ween a shouldinga, left land from a lange achten. The art hute stod hringen stefna, is he gone ut foost Atheringes fair.
In 1066, William the Conqueror, the Duke of Normandy, invaded and conquered England. The new conquerors brought with them a kind of French, which became the language of the royal court, the ruling and the business classes. For a period there was a kind of linguistic class division, where the lower classes spoke English and the upper classes spoke French. In the 14th century, English became dominant in Britain again, but with many French words added. It was the language of the great poet Chaucer. Let's watch and listen to the prologue to his work, Canterbury Tales.
When that April, with his showery sorter, the drocht of March hath persed to the rotor, and bathed every vine in switch liqueur, of which fair two engendered is the floor. When Zephyrus, eke with his sweeter breath, inspired hath in every holt and heath the tender cropes, and the younger sonne hath in the ram his halve course runne. And smalle fooles maken melodie, that slepen al the nicht with open eie. So pricketh hem natuur in hier courages. Then longen volk to gaan on pilgrimages, and palmers for to seken stranger stundes to ferne halwes, cool thin sundre Londes. And specially from every sheeries ender of England to Canterbury thy wende, the holy blissful martyr for to seke, that him hath holpen when that thy was seke.
As you can see, most of the words you have listened to are still difficult for native English speakers to understand today, because they are completely different from modern English. From the 16th century, the British had contact with many people from around the world. The invention of printing also brought standardization of English. Spelling and grammar became fixed, and the dialect of London became the standard. In 1604, the first English dictionary was published, and the most popular, the most representative example of something written in modern English is Hamlet's famous soliloquy, "To be or not to be." And now we are going to listen and watch it.
The To Be or Not to Be soliloquy from the play Hamlet by William Shakespeare. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to the consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprized love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of? Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action.
As you can see in this slide, I have written early modern English, so you can understand that there is also late modern English. But why there isn't any slide about it? Because the main difference between early modern English and late modern English is just vocabulary. Late modern English has many more words arising from two principal factors. Firstly, the Industrial Revolution and technology created a need for new words. And secondly, the British Empire, at its height, covered 1/4 of the Earth's surface, and the English language adopted foreign words from many countries. Hoping you have enjoyed this lesson. Now it's your turn, and you have to read the attached file with my instructions to your work. Bye bye.